And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. For years, doctors just could not figure out why some babies die from sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. Hopefully, new research can change that. Dr. Danish Ali told me about the new study that's a breakthrough and how it could save lives. Joining us now here on The Factor Uncensored tonight is Dr. Danish Ali with Archpoint Pain Institute. Dr. Ali, SIDS, exactly what is that for those parents out there and the viewers who are not familiar with it?
Isaiah, SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome. It is a condition where you put the child, the infant, to bed and you wake up the next morning and the child is not breathing and they've passed away. It is a horrible, horrible tragedy. And for many, many years, Isaiah, we've had no explanation for these patients and for these families that have gone through this. And up until recently, there is a study that was just published that came out of Australia that shows that there is potentially an enzyme that's deficient in those kids that have had SIDS.
Now, can that enzyme be identified before it becomes a problem for the child?
That's exactly right, Isaiah, and that's what the researchers are working on. So what's the next step that's going to happen is we're going to get a much bigger trial that's going to happen to make sure that this is in fact the case. And if it is, then there will be potentially enzymes and screening methods that we may come out with to screen for those babies to see if they're deficient in this enzyme.
And once you find out that the child may be deficient in the enzyme, what can be done to rectify or fix the problem?
So that's where the research has to come in, Isaiah, and see. I mean, we're going to have to figure out if there's a marker or a enzyme that can be replenished. If it is, then that's what some folks will do, just like folic acid. If you remember, having neural tube deficiencies many years ago, and then we found out that there was a link to folic acid, and now mothers are regularly given that prenatally. And so I anticipate that if this is the case where this enzyme is deficient, that we may come out with a replenishment of this enzyme. The biggest news is, Isaiah, that a lot of patients or a lot of family members who had lost their kids or their family members to SIDS, they did not have an answer. They thought it was because of them, because of something they did or didn't do. And so this puts a potential answer to those folks who may have been wondering all this time, was it my fault?
And Danish, I can recall in many instances in the past where a child just suddenly dies, that in many instances sparks a police investigation. And then the family's going through that as well while also grieving. So if we could get an answer to this, then that would alleviate many of those questions and the tragedy that many families have gone through.
That's exactly right, Isaiah. And I anticipate that there's going to be a lot of research that's going to be done on this. We had this research come out of Australia. It was a small study group. However, I anticipate that this will be now picked up worldwide, and we'll be doing studies here, and we'll be doing studies all across the world.
Now, what kind of timetable are we looking at? Are we saying in the next few years or the next decade? What? How long would it take for, I guess, a task this big and this important?
Yeah, Isaiah, I think we're going to continue to get some research and information as the time prevails. I think that over the course of the next few years, we're going to start seeing more and more that we're going to be learning about this, because again, this is a very preliminary study. It had a very small number of patients. Now this is going to be picked up worldwide. There's going to be a lot more studies that are going to happen, and then they'll send it to the regulatory agencies to further investigate this. And I anticipate, I hope that we can find this cure, find a treatment for this, and be able to localize and identify this enzyme that was responsible, and to prevent such a horrible tragedy to happen to anybody's family.
And this has impacted millions of families over the year, and it's been such a a tough situation for families out there, especially parents who have lost their children. Hopefully, we can get some answers, get this enzyme identified, and save more lives in the future. Dr. Danish Ali, we want to thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. For those who would like to find you on social media, where can they find you?
So I'm on our website at archpointpain.com, but I'm also on Instagram at HoustonPainDoc. And you can just Google Dr. Danish Ali, and happy to help in any way.
All right, sir. Thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored tonight.